Pookie is an idiot.
Welcome to the Good Fight Podcast. It's Rocket. Hello. If you did not know, it's Leadersode. We talk about leaders of the thinkers and visions of the RF.
Or some of our leaders, because there are the ones that we here in the episode. But we're really excited to talk to the ones that we do have here. Announcements before. We're hoping that as long as Em gets everything done that she needs to today, she will be listening to the first episode and making sure it's good to go, and then hopefully uploading it tonight to YouTube. So episode 1 from last year, potentially, because I don't want to guarantee anything in case something goes wrong, because sometimes things go wrong, will be on YouTube tonight, and we will be announcing that in RF Main Hub when it goes live. We're really excited to put that up there, and it's a big milestone, and I'm really excited. It's one of the first episodes, so that was back when we were based in RPF. And it's shut up. And it will be, I actually don't know what that means. Don't explain it to me, because we might be doing a segment where Pookie and Alti try to explain words to me that I don't understand.
Everyone scream based it or
I don't get it.
too bad.
So then with that episode, it'll be fun to look back at how much we've changed as a podcast, even because now we've been phasing out RPF content and including more and more general content in addition to RPF content, so that we're well balanced across divisions and becoming more general. So it's really cool to see that happen. We will still be uploading all those episodes for everyone that's interested in those. And then, Rocket, do you want to tell us about the events?
I would be absolutely thrilled, yes. So, as you know, we've been hyping up those new community events, and our schedule is getting jam-packed with all that delicious content. We're basically going to be streaming Monday through Saturday at this point, with Sunday being the Good Fight podcast. So you will have RF content every day. But I just said Monday through Saturday. There hasn't been a Monday. Yes, there is. Now there is. Tomorrow, Pookie and I are going to be playing Portal 2 and going up to some crazy shenanigans. So yeah, Rocket and Pookie break the laws of physics tomorrow, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. So set your watches for that. It's going to be awesome.
Also, we mentioned all the other guys know the schedule at this point of the Twitch streams, so make sure you come into those if you can. All of the other ones.
And just a refresher, Tuesday's D&D, Wednesday's Late Horror Night, Thursday's Commando and plays Minecraft,
Friday is Chaos Variety Show. We love him. They did 2 streams. They were cool. Saturday is Siege stream, and Sunday is Good Fight. So here's your content.
I mean, Commando talk about politics while he plays Minecraft, which is a discordant pairing. But
Nuzlocke, just shouting out Nuzlocke. Nuzlocke on Fridays. Have fun. All right, I think it's time for our PSA. We can jump into it.
Public service announcement: stay gay. It is June, so that means it is Pride Month, and that means if you are gay, stay gay, and if you're not, wish you were, because it's great to be gay. So enjoy Pride Month. Put the rainbows in your names. I think that's
Prinzuko.
Stay gay, and don't let anybody tell you that that's not an acceptable way to be. Just live your life. That's all I have to say for now.
My favorite thing about June is that you get to, I typically don't talk about that kind of thing, aspect of who I am, and I keep it on the DL, and I think that it's really cool that we can be excited and happy about it, rather than being like, that doesn't exist and we're not going to talk about it. So it's a good thing to have.
I get that. In real life, I don't tell people very often because it's not super important. And then Pride Month, everyone gets to hear it.
June. You gotta love Pride Month.
Pride Month, best month.
Rainbows.
Like the arc of a rainbow, we're arcing into our first segment. I'm so good at segues.
Our first segment is the Reverend Triarchy. We got rainbows and hoo-ahs.
A rainbow hoo-ah.
Our guests for this segment will be 2 of the 3 current Reverend leaders, Reyder and Pookie. We do have Vignac, who is the 3rd leader's answers to these questions. So we'll be mentioning those answers as we go. Pookie and Reyder, welcome to the Good Fight. How are you guys doing?
Great podcast.
Hello.
Were you expecting to be inducted as the new Tricycle Man?
Yes.
You want to talk about that?
So back in like June or something, Red was like, hey, I'm gonna retire, and he made a group chat, and you were in that group chat.
I was. It was January, but good
Yeah,
try.
he made a group chat potential leaders, and he said, anyone who can't do this, please tell me. Anyone who can, let me know, because I'm going to be retiring soon. So we whittled it down, and then we were placed into a group chat, and we named it We Three Kings, and Red was like, yeah, I'm retiring today. So, yeah. And then we were crowned kings, and he made a whole speech, and it got cut off by Discord, so he had to make it less characters.
Vignac actually said that he was not expecting to be leader anytime soon, or ever really, because he only recently got into the Royal Council, and several players were ahead of him in the hierarchy. Although I would
Just
say that it makes sense to me that he got it because Vin has always been known to be really responsible and active member of Emcee Div, right?
yeah, props to Vin. Vin is an absolute.
Yeah, Vin wasn't in the original running back in January because he was a bit of a lower rank, but he's been with us for a long time, and he's really recently he opened up the Grinders Guild, and he's helped us become what we are today. So we wouldn't be here without him.
Love you, Vin, in spirit. Okay, Ray, tell us, were you expecting to be inducted as a new leader?
Yeah, I was, frankly. I don't know how to explain it, but I was next in line anyways. We decided Triarchy, along with Puvin and maybe Matt also, that Triarchy would be the best option because one person can't have all the responsibility.
So give him to 3. Power of 3.
Ray was essentially the like second in command, I guess, if you want to call it, of Minecraft Div for the longest time. He basically started it with those guys, so it was always assumed that Ray would be king. And of course, at the end, he said he didn't want to do it alone, so us two are now leaders with him.
And then We Three Kings happened. All right, awesome. So we already got some context as to Vin being one of the first members of the Emcee Div community, and Ray also kind of there. But Pookie, when did you join the Emcee Div, and how did you
So
get to where you are now?
I joined back in maybe August of 2019, maybe. We were on our old, I think it was the Townie server.
Townie Origins.
Townie Origins, yeah.
So their data servers got destroyed.
That server really didn't have a lot in store, so I logged on every week, 2 weeks, and then MC Div was like, "Oh, hey, we're starting a new campaign on a new server," and so I logged on. And then as I logged on, I was like looking around, and someone hit me up, and they were like, "Oh, I'm giving away my stuff." And so I was like, "Okay." I teleported to them, and then they got banned, and then I called Rocket on, and we
I
raided
remember
the
this.
place.
This is a great story. We absolutely destroyed
We
his
raided
base.
the place, and then from that point on, I was like, "Hey, this is fun." And then I made a guild out of it, and then I rose from like the peasant rank, and here we are.
That's a story. And Ray, do you want to add any context to your beginning at the Emcee Div?
I've been here since the start, actually. I've been in RF for 2 or 3 years, and as soon as the Minecraft division started, I jumped ship from RPF and joined MC Div completely. Removed myself from RPF so quickly that I did not have a retirement post.
Oh, wow. He
Attaboy.
zoomed.
Proud of you.
But I mean, look at you now, king of the Emcee Div. I call that a trade.
I do be crafting.
He do be crafting. All right, so now that you guys are all three leading together, how is the dynamic of the triarchy?
Well, I mean, it's good having other people to look for during decisions, and we don't have like in RPF. There's a chat, whatever. If this is a leak, there's a chat just for the rebel commanders, like the leaders. We just have a royal council where it's like all of the high rank members. So any decision we make, we usually go to the council anyway and are like, hey, help us out. So the dynamic is that we always have this community of people that are there for any tough decision we're gonna make. We go to everyone, and if there's an executive decision that needs to be made, it's a good thing that there's 3 of us, so that there's a tiebreaker vote, and the dynamic is good.
Awesome. And Ray, you want to add to that?
Yeah, that's part of the reason that we had Triarchy in the original plan, is because that tiebreaker is so essential.
Awesome.
So, how did you guys feel? Obviously, you were told ahead of time, but when you were first told in January, how did that make you guys feel? And an eventual prospect of being a leader of the Div.
I really thought it was gonna be sooner, because Red made it sound like in that group chat he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna leave like soon, like super soon." I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll be king next week." But of course, I had to wait for a little bit, and that's okay because I got experience. Red taught me how to handle the division, the things about the Royal Council, whatever. But his retirement, of course, that's always gonna be it's always gonna be felt because he was the founder, he was the face of this division for so long. So that's a gap that we're hoping to fill.
And Ray?
It's kind of sad because I've known Red since like 2018. So, seeing someone who I've known for so long, like I've stopped working with them as much. It's kind of sad, but it's
And also have Vin's answer here about this. He said, "It's definitely a shame to see Red retire. He was a really good friend, and it's sad we can't share some laughs on Minecraft often anymore, but he left MC Div in a good way." And I would definitely agree with that. Progress being made on the server, being made in Empire recently. There's a real vibe going on, so I definitely agree with Vin's sentiment on that. And so, looking ahead, what are you guys feeling about the future?
The future is really bright. So we just became an empire, which is the highest achievement you can get on the server. And we've made a lot of good friends. We have a lot of powerful allies, powerful people that we know, and the future's really bright. There's a lot of things in store. We do events now. We go on other servers, like we go to Disney sometimes. So yeah.
HCon Disney trip. Ray, you want to add to that at all?
I think there's also other stuff that we're working on a little bit. We're thinking about maybe adding war or expanding on our houses like Redwin and Celine and uh, whatever is coming. I don't know if
Ooh.
one of them's been announced yet or not, but that might be in the future. So we're trying to expand on that, and we just got Empire World through ranking up to Empire, which means we have our own 1,000 by 1,000 block world where we can build whatever we want. No claims, no mobs. So we might be using that in the future, but it's a work in progress.
And speaking of houses, now that Red's gone, who leads both Redwin and Celine? And if you want to talk a little about that for some people that don't know the houses as well, what can you tell us?
So I lead the best house, and the best house is Redwin.
You mean Celine? Oh, okay.
Okay, best house is Redwin. And Ray and Vin are both Celine, if I'm correct. So they lead Celine, but Redwin is the best house. So.
What makes Redwin such a good house? If you want to defend your claim.
Because
nothing.
Well, because it's about red, and also it has a win at the end. So red win, boom. Two best things in life.
All right, Ray, I need you to help me here because I'm in Celine. What are your thoughts on Celine being the best house?
It's better.
It's just straight up better. I want to say that a lot of our active player base is in Celine. It's a little bit imbalanced. Like a lot of people who are doing stuff are in Celine. I know Brown Boy, like I'm not gonna actually say names because there's a lot, but like a lot of the productivity is coming out of Celine. So I don't know what Redwin has in terms of productivity other than a few things, but I will say Celine's building like the castle, the shop, putting a lot of money in. Like Mishka, who's a member of Celine, has over 100 mil. I don't know if he's putting any of that into the bank.
We also have our new third house, which is run by Matt.
Third house. Tell us more.
I believe
There's
it's
another
called,
house.
I believe it's called Zendar. I may be wrong, but I
Sendar.
believe it's Zendar. And yeah, anyone is free to join that house, and we might just put new people into that house to even things out. But still a good house.
I
Sounds good.
absolutely love that.
Uh,
Brown Boy
Brown Boy,
is an
he's
absolute
a
chat.
very vital part to everything that we do. We're working on a big project with Brown Boy, and that project should be completed soon. But shout out to Brown, he's really amazing.
It sounds hype.
So Vin also has comments. The future looks bright. We got a lot of talented people with us in the council, both royal and minor. An amazing community playing with us. Just got to keep striving for greater heights, and I'm certain the experience we will have continue to be memorable as it was when Red first started the vision. What a beautiful sentiment, Vin. Those would just be his words. And I guess the last part of this would really be looking ahead. You guys have bright ideas. You have the new Empire world, and you mentioned that we are one of the top. What is Reverend with comparison to the other top 12 empires, and what's our relation with them if you have any?
So I believe we're boys with UKA. UKA are another empire on the server, and of course we're the newest one, or I think another one was just made after us. But anyways, we're one of the newer empires, so of course we don't really measure with the other ones yet. But the thing is, you have to think there's something like, I want to say 500 or 600 kingdoms. To even make the jump to empire in the first place is a big deal. So to even place amongst those other kingdoms, it's crazy that we've gotten to this point in such a short amount of time.
It did grow really quickly. So I just got fly the other day, and I did
Legend
the thing where
rank.
yeah, I got a special rank that allows you to fly wherever you want to go, so you can see things from above. Floated way high above the kingdom, and I was like, this is such an amazing, crazy view of the kingdom, especially having been a part of the server since December and seeing how much it's grown is really crazy. And the fact that there's a third house now, Redwood and Celine were such a classic houses, it's pretty crazy. All of these developments.
Although we're the kings, of course I have to thank everyone because I'm not at all a builder. So everyone who's been building and doing everything, Brown Boy, Zekro, Micro, a bunch of those guys, thank them so much for making the town look so beautiful. I
Gilding.
do nothing except for raid and lead. I cannot build for my life. Thank you to all those
Gilding.
guys.
It feels like Red's dream really comes to life with Minecraft Div at this point, really grown a lot because him and Moondog really wanted it to be so cooperative and everybody to be involved in it and to make something amazing from everybody's efforts. It's been so successful as far as that minimal base goal. So, pretty cool.
Base.
Look at what we can all accomplish.
All right.
Good job, everyone.
We've cheesed out this segment, but I do want to thank Pookie, Ray, and Vin in Spirit for attending the Good Fight podcast and telling us about arguably the best division. Thank you for coming along, fellas. And Pookie's actually not leaving because we're shifting gears. M is going to
And
be.
I'm back.
Oh,
We
Jill.
can hold on. We have to say fight the good fight and hooah. Ray.
All right,
let's
yeah.
hear it
Of
from you.
course.
Let's put them
Hooah.
both in there.
Hooah.
Let's-
There we go.
there.
Hooah the good hooah?
Who are the
Something
good? Who?
like that.
You know what? I like that. Who are the good? Who are?
Got
That's a good sentiment of the two. Anyways, we're shifting into our next segment, and Pookie is still going to be here, so love you, buddy.
Yeah.
And we also
I'll
have
stick
M
around. Right.
getting interviewed. M, are you ready?
I'm
It's going to be
MC.
great. And
I
we're
am no
welcoming
longer
back.
a host.
Yeah,
I am now a guest.
You're a guest. I'm better than you. And we have Jill. Jill, say hi. You're back.
Everybody, I'm back.
You'll love to see it. So, I've brought you here for one reason. I don't even know how to say the name. First question: what's the name of your new team thing?
Team Auditore.
Oh, it's got an
Auditore.
accent.
Oh,
It's
I was
shot
thinking
like
It's just
You don't
like
have to
like
say it.
auditoire.
You can just say Auditore if you want,
It's
but
just
it's
auditory.
All
No,
right.
it's
auditory.
Auditore.
You have to
I was
say
doing
it
all
with an
French with it.
extremely southern accent. Team Auditore.
Yes. So
Auditore.
Auditore is like it's the last name from Assassin's Creed. I love Assassin's Creed a lot. And I love Ezio and I love that whole series. I think everything that happened in Italy in that series was the best ones.
Gamer nerd.
And I think that I thought when I was told Commando was like, oh, like obviously podcast is technically the first team and we want to give it a cool name, like what do you guys like have in mind? And like I was trying to look up like Team Tartarus, which is the programming one, is a really cool
Love you
name.
have 6.
And there's Olympia and you know like there's some really like awesome names going on and they're like different cultures and stuff. So I was like, oh, like I just want to do Auditore because my mom is from Italy and like I started this team with Chaos a long time ago. And it says audio in it. And actually, so I looked it up and Auditore means it means auditor, like the job.
Like the art of speaking, like Cicero.
Yeah. Which has nothing to do with podcast. But when I looked it up, it was also like auditore in the sense of being a last name means listener. So if it's a last name, apparently it kind of changes the meaning or something. Like it derives from listening in that sense. So I was like, cool. It means listener if it's a last name. We're gonna call it Team Auditore. And so listening being everything audio related. So this just means that podcast is an official RF team. And it also means that we can, from here on, maybe take on other audio related things in the future. And it expands kind of our, what is the word? I'm like, mission. It expands our mission a little bit more to audio things.
So
I really
That's
love the
her first album
breakdown
dropping.
of Tartarus and Tartar going on
Tartar
in
sauce.
Tartar sauce.
Russian chat right now.
I don't even know what teeth tartar is, but I don't like talking about teeth.
So
Crazy
has the
always
team
takes
actually
the metaphor
changed?
considered. So it hasn't changed much. The only thing is like we're not. If Pookie, if you want to answer any of these, just jump in. I guess.
Listen, if you're going.
Okay, I'm going. Wow, MC talking too much. I've never heard that before. But basically, our team is the same. We aren't going to let everybody in the podcast team in right away. We're gonna like make sure that like activity and stuff is proven before we give them the auditory role. But we do have a podcast role for the channel for those team members that are starting out or are new or less active until they have earned it, and then other than that, we've just been focusing on podcast. So if any other audio related projects do come up, we can look into that. I want to maybe talk about hosting some kind of music event where people can perform, not everyone, but like everybody knows Knife Chicken is a really great musician, and giving him a spotlight would be cool. Stuff like that. Look into it and stuff. So yeah, it's basically podcast.
Basically, just slap a little TM on there. It's podcast TM.
Entertaining enough.
That is the channel name.
And I guess that answers the next question. So then I'll have to break into. You mentioned you wanted to kind of branch out into more audio related aspects of the RF, but what exactly are the plans for this team?
So I mean, like we haven't discussed anything specific yet because I think that there are some podcast related goals that we want to accomplish before we start expanding.
Like uploading.
So
Hmm?
like uploading the audio is one of those big ones, which I'm hoping that will start tonight, and I'm really excited about. In addition to that, we also want to make sure that we're expanding to general content, and we're trying to implement new segments that are customizable and like reusable. So the idea that I mentioned earlier on with Pookie and
Learn
Alti
slang.
MC learns things like based and
there you go.
what was the
Poggers.
other one? Yeah, poggers.
Alright.
I
I
just
don't know
learned
like
it.
either. I got you. I don't understand.
And I'm
Ooh.
probably older than you, and everyone keeps saying it's an age thing, but I think it's just I don't keep up with any of this. So
It's a bit of
Well,
both, I think.
Okay, boomer.
I'll link to a urbandictionary.com. They're gonna come in
there's
handy.
the okay boomer. I was expecting it.
Okay, boomer. Next question.
And so things like that, we might do like movie reviews and stuff like that. And then once we get those things down, then we might look into like I don't know, again, like that, like music related like stuff, or like if there's something with SoundCloud, like we have audio editors on our team, we can use these guys and expand our mission to make RF more interesting by adding more sound related content into this. So I'm open to ideas for all of this from here on out.
We've got a surprising amount of talented musicians and audio editors in this community. It's kind of weird. I mean, even I remember like 2 weeks ago, we highlighted two brilliant composers in the RPF making an album. I don't know. It was awesome.
No, it's crazy. There's a lot of the federation is giant. Not even.
And you got Lime. I have to say Lime. If you haven't seen Lime's work, just oh my god, I just have to say Lime's
the
work is
RPF
great.
is big, but like the federation as a whole, the connections here, the artists, the meme makers, the musicians, it's crazy. And
Yeah.
As Em said, we haven't exactly talked about what we're gonna do, but I think both of our ideas are the same. That it'll probably be projects sort of like podcasts where they're maybe voice chat based, but we do like other things, not just like based, not just like a podcast. Like we do something fun, like we review like a movie or something. And apparently Elmo has a late night show now, so I plan on.
I really
that.
do want to see that.
We're going to review it.
We want to review Elmo's Oprah show.
It's not
So-
available in my country.
Wait,
Yeah,
where,
we're thinking of watching it as a podcast team. Like we're gonna like plan an event where Auditore sits down and Pookie streams it, and we watch it, and then we're gonna like review it on podcast episode and be like, so this is what we watched, what were our favorite parts, and all of that kind of stuff. So it sounds funny.
And because podcast is super awesome, and we're talking about it a lot, and Team Auditore is also super awesome. How do people join the team?
Oh.
You don't.
How do you
Oh.
become
So we
one
put
of
everybody
us?
in an arena. Each person gets to pick a weapon.
We can't do that. There'd be doxing there.
Okay,
Ah.
so
yeah.
My weapon is dogs.
on a very serious note, I have gotten a couple of DMs about interest in working with podcasts recently, and each time they're like, "I don't know what I can do, but I want to help." And so, what I want to say is, I do love initiative and wanting to help, but I guess, like, what we need is like. How do I put this, Pookie? Like, we need to know what you're capable of, or what ideas you have. Like, I I'm open to expanding to
Podcast is hiring.
other
Podcast
podcast is hiring.
Yeah.
I'm open to new members, and I think we're both open to stuff. But right now, like I like accept people, and I'm like, so they'll come to me, and I'll be like, "Can you write?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, I can write." And then they'll show me like a few sentences, and I'll be like, "Cool, you can write script." And like that's cool because we need script writers and stuff. But at the end of the day, like if you want to add something to podcast, if you want to help with it, if you can come to me with ideas of how you can contribute, like I want to expand advertising for it, or I want like graphics for it, and we don't really have a lot of active graphic designing happening for it. Like all kinds of things that you guys can come up with, I will literally try and implement it if you give me a good one. So you can DM me or Pookie for any of that, and we can talk about it. And it would be cool if you guys gave us a reason why you think you should be on podcast, not be like, hey, if you need an extra hand, I'm here, but I don't know what I can do because I don't know what you can do either. So
Yeah, whatever skills you think you can bring to the table, like go for it. We hire people who can listen. If you can draw or something, we hire graphic designers. If you know how to mess with OBS, we hire people who can edit sound or record or whatever. Whatever you think you can bring to the table, just shoot us a DM. Or I think the applications are probably still open. Whatever, just
It's more of a DM process.
when
Than
there's
at,
an
movie
yeah,
application.
maker, perfect. Yeah.
at this point, we wanted it streamlined, so we got rid of like the application and stuff. We are just like DM us.
With all this said,
Yep.
how are you guys feeling about Team
Auditore.
Auditore's future?
I love the name. I love the colors.
Oh wow,
um,
blue.
um, but I think it'll be good. Pookie and I were like, I mean, like I was talking to Commando about this like way long ago, like when he was talking about Olympia, and I was like, podcast is literally already like a team. You should just make it official. So it's pretty cool, and I think that making it the audio team and not just podcast team means that it could expand into some super cool stuff. So I feel pretty good about it. My only problem with it right now is that my Team Olympia role got taken away and my perms got taken with it. But I'm still in Olympia, so now I'm like this is cool. I'm just struggling with these perms, but I don't care. I don't care about the role. I just like it's inconvenient sometimes,
You still
and
have
I'm like,
access. Yeah. This revocal
I
was
do,
brought to you
yeah.
by Commando.
Yeah, I kind of wish that I could have the orange from the streamer, but
Ooh, that's
I
a nice
like blue
color.
too.
I
I
like
like blue.
I
It's
like
very
my
nice.
color. You know, I
But
got
orange
See,
is my favorite color.
this
I'm happier
luge
in my
like
role.
red with my Zuko profile. It matches perfectly.
True.
So I mean, hey,
So
You
if
know,
the only
I
complaint is
know
color, we're
it's
on the
not.
right track.
Commando just pinged me. He was like, he said I got promoted from team member to team captain. And I'm like, yeah, which is cool, and I appreciate that, and I want my role to be team captain of Team Auditore. I'm happy with it. I'm just like, all right, well, there's this one channel people are talking about that I apparently can't see, but it doesn't matter that much.
so back to talking about the future. I've been whipping up a
Hmm.
motivational speech in my head. I think I have it ready.
All right. Oh, close to the
So
All
picture.
right, let's
yeah,
hear it.
I'm pretty good at those. Um, so even from like our first podcast episode, shut up. The next segment soon. Let me talk. So like our first podcast episode is crazy how far we've come. Because the first episode was something I think it was about like a club hanger medieval party or the Olympics or something. Like it's we've grown so much from then. Like from then we were only RPF based and then we moved
Based.
based and then we moved to RF and became like the first official team. We've grown to interview people from RPF, from Minecraft, from every other division, people from the Club Penguin Army community. We've done history episodes, and you know it's great seeing it's been almost a year seeing how much uh, MC and Chaos have grown this, and then they allowed me to be part of this, and I went from just being a supervisor to now basically being involved in this every week, and I love it. So the future's bright. We're gonna plan some projects, and I think the team is gonna work out really well.
So motivational. 15 streams later. 15 streams later from the first. Let me transition.
Guys,
Has it been?
I
a
just
year?
had an
It's only-
idea.
What's
What?
your idea?
We should do an anniversary episode. When was the first
I
episode?
might be in college by then, so we'll figure it out.
That's
Cute.
wild. We
Anyways,
should-
I think we should stall so Crazzy just doesn't get on here.
we're moving on to the next segment. Pookie, you're gone now.
Okay,
welcome
hi,
back to the
everyone.
competition.
I'm
Thank
gone
you for
too.
attending the Good Fight podcast.
Fight the good
Jill.
fight. Do I
I'm
know
out.
for this
Fight
segment?
the good fight.
Okay.
Who on in the chat?
No, who
Fight
are for
the
No,
this
we're
segment?
moving on to the best
Yeah,
segment.
yeah.
I'm so based right now. I love this segment so much. This segment is about the newest Rebel Commander. We love her. Crazy!
God.
Welcome to the Good Fight podcast.
What is that?
That's so good. I'm so happy you're here.
Thanks for having me.
How do you like that new red role in the division leader room?
Pretty nice. I'm not really
Pretty-
used to it yet, but you know.
And you're red in more places than one because you're
Mhm.
happy and you're in the RPF. So, Crazy, fun question. I need to answer this. I'm sorry. What is your history in the RPF? When did you join, and how did your RPF journey go thus far?
Funny you ask, because I remember in June 24th,
Oh boy.
I was just minding my business on Club Penguin, and this dude named Rocket kept following me around, and I was like, who the hell is this person? And then Rocket's like, do you want to join like a cool Discord, making it sound like it was some like hangout or something? So I joined it, and lo and behold,
I tracked her down.
11 months and a couple weeks later, here I am.
Tell you how crazy I was when I got her. I recruited her in the pizza parlor. Kind of weird. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
it's
Like,
kinda
you don't
weird.
do it in the parlor, the plaza. What are you based? Anyway, it's pretty crazy.
Funny,
Go on.
nah, because we were in the plaza, and then you kept talking to me, so I went to the pizza parlor.
You were running
then you
away
followed-
from me.
And then you followed me, and I was like, okay, I guess.
Who is this clown?
Fudge.
You just wanted barrels. That's all you wanted. Because it was
I
the
know.
island party.
I was like, yo, I want that pineapple costume if you don't mind egging off. But yeah, that's how I joined. How did my RPF journey go this far?
Mm.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it was smooth sailing, but time definitely has flown since I've joined, let alone getting RC in less than a year. But yeah, it's pretty rocky, but made it through.
It has been a ride.
Yeah.
It has indeed. Do you find being Rebel Commander daunting, or do you welcome the challenge?
I mean,
No scare.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's daunting, but I'm always up for a challenge and to better myself and to, broaden my own knowledge and horizons itself. I mean, there's some parts where, yeah, it's kind of like not necessarily scary, but it's definitely a transition from being HCOM to now you are leading. People look to you to make legitimate decisions and such. Not necessarily scared. I'm more eager to get into this moving forward.
I'm sure you can handle that.
I love it. So, this was very recent. It was Friday. I remember what I was doing. But how did it feel to get that?
I mean, not saying that I expected it, but I did have a conversation with Cosmo and Ulti prior to, after Ulti retired. We had a discussion about it. So it was kind of like a matter of when at that point. I didn't really expect it on the day that happened, also because it was at like 8 p.m. Was not expecting that like during the evening, but yeah, no, I was pretty excited because talked to the RC and former RC about it. So in a way, I was preparing myself since that moment. And then when I got it, I was like, hell yeah, time to start moving forward.
Do you have any big wishes? Do you have any big goals that you want to accomplish? Anything before you leave?
We had the 178 max for that event. It was one of like the biggest in history. But I'm kind of looking for us to do something like that, but a uniformed event. So that's one of my goals right now is to kind of get that kind of hype. Sorry, Cassie.
130 uniform.
To get that kind of hype, but a uniformed event, so we can kind of prove the people in other armies, etc., who keep saying that we're a rogue army, etc. So to kind of stick it to them like that.
I think that's a big goal, but it would be really cool if you guys can hit that many in uniform.
We were counting that
Process,
boxed
but-
up. It was what, 148 and then 30 rogues? It was Totally don't.
Yeah, we have like the 119 max uniform recently. So if we can keep pushing
Just
towards
60
that.
more.
Yeah.
Finals.
Okay, not like 178, but I'm talking about like, something in the 100, maybe like 130 plus range, yeah, for uniformed event.
You guys got.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about the future overall? Not just goals and any imminent obstacles that you think are currently coming at you guys or going to come at you in the future. Anything
So
you can look into.
in the Club Penguin community, at least, it's very known that a lot of Club Penguin private servers are closing. So it's kind of like, for us, what can we do to keep this community alive? What can we do to also keep our troops safe if we do move to a new CPPS? So that's kind of one of the things I'm focusing on in the future. And that I'm not that I'm worried about, but I anticipate that we will face issues like this. And it's like, how can we be prepared for when something like that happens? We're not going to GTP.
Would you
I
say
would love
this
to
is
go.
similar to knowing that the zombie apocalypse is coming and having to
Kind of.
prepare?
I'm like, yay, I get to lead during the death of Club Penguin Part 2.
Poggers. I would almost dub this Exodus Part 2. It's Exodus, but more time. So, funny thing is, you're probably the newest Rebel Commanders that wasn't a veteran from before. Sylv, Cosmo, Liz, Plane, but you're fresh to the table. So,
I'm pretty sure Liz was recruit to RC as well. I think that was the last person who was.
yeah, she
like
was literally
that.
the first, at least recently. First ever entirely rewritten HCOM. That's true. So, how do you feel about that position? The one that
I
you're in?
mean, I feel like there's some expectations for me because I'm not a part of the old community. So there's kind of like a stigma with maybe me not being as experienced, but
You've been here a year.
yeah, I mean, yeah, coming up on a year in like 3 weeks. But yeah, stigma from tired old vets. Basically, yeah, who assume that people in the newer generation don't really know what they're doing. And even though I haven't been in Club Penguin armies for this long, my own IRL experiences, I've led very legitimate things that it could, transfer over to here. So yeah, I mean, I feel like there's like something I have to live up to, which is kind of proving people wrong in that sense. That just because I'm in a new generation doesn't mean I can't do it as well as people from old generations.
Is there anyone you don't think you would have gotten Rebel Commander without?
I mean, there's like a long list of people, I'd say. Like, obviously, Rocket for recruiting me.
Love you.
I mean, the friends I've made along the way who have also kind of helped me through situations where I felt like odds were against me. People being like Yami, Icy, Lime, even people like Elix and Moon who have also been there to help me and also kind of reassure me. Pookie wants me to say his name. So I guess that time when Pookie would send me my stats in DMs and call it a mentor report, we can say
I
that
remember
Pookie has helped me to
I
itself.
do remember that story.
But yeah, basically that. And anyone who was kind of staff, when I was still a troop, I kind of looked up to all the staff and how they ran things, and it made it easier as I moved forward through the ranks with kind of understanding what was going on. So thank you to all mods in HCOM during my time as a little troop. Yeah.
That's awesome. What's your favorite thing about RPF in all of the time that you have been here?
I would say, I would say the community, because honestly, if I didn't really click with people well and engage with them the way that I do, I probably would not have stuck around that long. But I think that aside from the events and other, I almost said a bad word, the other stuff that we do, I think that we really do have a wholesome community where you can meet people that you will be friends with outside of this and people you will stay in touch with even after you leave RPF. And I think that's one of my favorite things about RPF.
Community is definitely very cool. You probably made a lot of friends in your time here. And with all of that community, there's probably a lot of people looking up to you. Do you have any advice for those troops or staff aspiring to reach where you are?
I mean, my I'd say be patient. Stuff like this really doesn't happen overnight. You can't assume that this will happen at the drop of a hat. So the only reason I got to where I am now is from putting in hard work for basically like a year straight. And also to take time for yourself. You can't kill yourself over trying to hit certain stats and etc. Like, this is meant to be fun, and if you're not having fun, then, realize what you're doing. But keep working at it, be patient, and you will achieve the goals that you set.
Good
Okay.
advice.
Thank you so much.
How does being Redfield? I feel like people get to where they're like, being the Red role is the ultimate accomplishment. Like, you've done the impossible, and we've talked about how it feels a little bit. But do you feel special? Do you feel like there are a lot of eyes on you? Is it weird talking in chat now that you're Red?
It is kind of odd. I'm still not kind of used to it, but I wouldn't necessarily say RC is the biggest accomplishment. I mean, it is a very, very big accomplishment, but I'm looking to do more than just, be settled with being RC. And talking in chat, I mean,
Right.
it's a little different. It's funny when I'm talking to some troops and they're like, "Oh my god, I remember when you were 3IC," and I'm like, "Holy, how long have I been here that people only?" I'm sorry, that people only remember me as like HCOM, and I think that also, I don't know, it's a surreal feeling in a way, but
Little do they know there are people that remember you when you were a recruit.
legit, a recruit with myself as my profile picture.
I do remember that, yeah. Small.
The way Rocket explained it when he recruited me sounded like this was just like a chat. Like, we were just talking. This was not like a whole in-depth Penguin
I
Army.
mean, you
But I
came
had
in
no
there and we
idea
were
what
trying
this
to
was.
explain.
I only
And then
joined because I saw it was Discord. I was like, oh, I used that once for a class I
that
had.
once.
Literally that one time. Because my Discord
And then you were
name was my
considering
name.
downloading it on your phone.
Yeah,
I
I
was
remember
like,
that.
don't do that.
I was like, guys, I want to download Discord. MC, that's the biggest mistake of your life. Here I fast forward
I
10
was
months.
like, you really don't want to do that, trust me.
Yeah. And what's also crazy is that the first podcast, I was Troop of the Week when we did this last
I
summer.
do remember that too.
That was the
Honestly,
first
sometimes I
episode.
forget how long you've been here because I'm like, oh, Lizzie wasn't here for a bunch of my time here. And then I really think about it and really joined only a month or two after I got there.
Yeah.
So the fact that you were at the first podcast episode always surprises me because I'm like, no, you weren't.
For
You
the
weren't
week
even,
101.
you didn't even exist yet to me. And then
Yeah.
now you're Big Bad RC.
It's crazy.
Since the
Crazy.
first podcast episode, it has been discussion about whether it's crazy or crazy, and it's crazy.
Your kingdom is mine, Red. Deal with it.
Who asked you? This
Oh
is not
my.
the Minecraft.
Gosh.
Oh no!
Oh no, they're crashing the segment. Stop them.
No! Stop! Okay, muted. Actually, Rocket's not here. I'm a co-host
Not.
now. This is my
There's
job.
no respect.
Do you have any interesting questions for Crazy? Oh my god, I had to stop myself. I'm sorry. I almost did the bad thing. I'm really sorry.
Why do you
Crazy.
not deal with the mistake that you made by misspelling your name and just let people call you Crazzy?
I made this
don't-
name when I was 8 years old, okay? It was like 2006.
This is
I was
names
like,
are pronounceable in any way that you desire them to be, and so her pronunciation is valid.
Yeah, the fudge.
I was gonna ask you, what is your obsession with Azula? Do you relate to her?
I don't necessarily say I relate because I haven't reached the point where I've had a mental breakdown like she has. I'm kind of scared now because now I'm RC, but whatever. I don't relate to the villain, the mad woman Azula. All I have to say is I respect her strong will, and female empowerment wise, she is a pretty badass character. But relatable, no. She has.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't ever understand where she's coming from.
She's a well-written character. It's a really good show, and her arc is crazy. But just don't.
Now, if you actually like understand the whole plot, there's reasons why she acts this way, but she is in the end a villain. But she's a pretty cool, in my opinion.
If you're
I'm
gonna
not Azula.
follow the Azula arc, just make sure you don't follow the end where you're tied up in chains and crying and breathing fire.
Series has really good villains. That is all I will say.
You're really just spoiled.
Yeah, don't spoil things, Pookie.
All I said is someone's crying.
Not okay.
Okay.
Not okay. It's not okay.
My favorite color is green.
What is your favorite part about being RC now? What new perk do you
My
have?
favorite part?
Her
I
favorite
changed
perk is
RC
defacing
color
the
to blue
server.
yesterday. Pookie.
You changed what to blue?
Yeah, Pookie, shut the frick. Anyway, I changed
your
RC color to
segment?
blue. Changed it to blue
You
yesterday.
changed it to blue? I missed that?
All the Air Force troops were like, Crazy and Cosmo are vets, so they support Air Force. So then I was like, screw you guys, and I made it blue because we are both Navy RCs.
That's empowerment.
Take that. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Wow. Amazing.
I actually have a question.
Oh, go ahead, Jill.
Oh.
We've been talking a lot about your future goals. What's your greatest accomplishment to date, in your opinion?
Let's say.
Defending
So
tuxedo.
I've only been RC for 3 days. Let's keep that in mind. But previously, I'd say as a 2IC, one of the more accomplishing things that I've done was probably leading in the Premier League, not copyrighted Premier League tournament against All Force with my co-2ICs, which were Cosmo and F6. Also leading during the ACP war,
Defending the
which was
homeland. Yay.
yeah, like 6 minutes before we get a ping from Ulti and Cosmo saying, "Hey, 2ICs, can you guys lead?" And we're like, "What?" And then just the defensive tuxedo, really fun. Yeah, that was I literally was like, "What?" But yeah, no, leading during those war battles were definitely fun, despite what ACP claimed at the end. But whatever. It felt pretty accomplishing being a part of something like that and leading. It's not like this little dinky like 40 plus costume event. This was like a real war event, and I think that was pretty accomplishing in itself. Anything else but my penguin clout history? I will make it rain in RPM.
What does that mean?
God.
What do you mean
Exactly. Ominous.
you got money? You want to share?
No. Oh wait, I
should-
heard that
No.
Commando pays the RCs, so I'm just waiting on my paycheck.
Oh, I
DM you my
wish he
address.
paid his staff.
Apparently, according to RFCP, Commando pays his each helm. Where's
Okay,
my money?
the misconceptions
money?
about RPF are
Where's
wild.
my money? I'm
People
like,
think so many crazy things.
yeah, I don't understand.
Thank you for coming on and talking to us crazy about your and Cosmos' new rule over RPF. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you for talking to us about this. We hope that your leadership goes splendidly.
Thank you.
We gotta fight the good fight.
Fight the good fight.
Yay.
Hey,
Right.
nice. Thank you everyone for coming. As per usual, podcast would be nothing without our viewers and our guests. So thank you guys for keeping a open schedule. It was really awesome to hear from Reyder and Pookie and Crazy and me, I guess.
Yeah, and you and
Jill.
twice.
Keep in mind, we're going to see if we can upload this podcast tonight after I get it out of here and review it. And yay, we're on the site schedule. It's so
Oh,
hype,
boy.
everybody. I have no idea what's going to be on the next episode. I think that Omega is interested in guesting, and he is an old face from RPF, and we might talk about him. I want to try out new, more general topics. We might do that segment where Pookie comes up with a bunch of words that I don't know, and him and Alti try to teach
yeah,
me.
that'd
Well,
be-
he won't be
yeah.
teaching me. It will be me trying to guess what it means, and then they might
And
give
then-
me hints.
And then making fun of you.
Yes, that's
And
pretty much it.
yeah, it's basically going to be a Bully MC podcast, which I'm used to them both doing that at this point, so it's fine. In addition to that, we might have reviews of Oprah, Elmo style, and other things.
It's called the
What
Not
else?
So Late show.
And that's
Well, it's got to
I-
be before my bedtime.
I think we're gonna call that one Reviewmothy, and then I think the one that's teaching me stuff is gonna be Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, is what Pookie came up with.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yes.
That's perfect.
Super long.
So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. Next week's podcast is going to be awesome, as usual.
You guys have anything you want to see on the podcast, general content wise, as we expand into interesting random things that we want to talk about, whether it has to do with gaming or things that are going on in our different divisions in here or outside of that, whether it's movie reviews, specific things you want to hear us do, please let us know. We're open to DMs. There's a suggestion box pinned in the main chat.
Also, if you have something that you want us to talk about and you can't find the suggestion box or anything like that, feel free to DM a member of the team and we can throw it in. Or DM me if no one else wants to be DM'd. I honestly don't care if people DM, so you can tell me and I'll throw it to the team.
We're completely open to criticism. If I suck, you just DM me and let me know.
Tell me I'm garbage. I'm okay with that.
I can take it. I'm okay with being confronted.
Where's Rocket? I have no idea.
Oh,
You,
we
you
could
probably
do
dip
that.
halfway
No
for
problem.
tacos.
There's a new stream tomorrow. Please come to it.
Yes, it'll be me.
Yes.
Please come to it. Rocket and I are going to break the laws of physics and probably break our brains.
We'll play Portal too.
Yes.
The more of you that come, the closer we get to our goal of being Twitch partners, which is a big deal, and would really put us on the map. Just like to elevate the importance of you guys coming and watching. It would be really cool to help us out with that. We are Twitch affiliates on the rise, as Commando put it.
And the more of you that come, the more nitro I give out. And by nitro, I mean love and affection. Thank you all for your support.
We're looking into nitro giveaways of some sorts, but only if there is activity and interest. So again, the more you participate in the hub, the more you might get out of it as well. I think we are.
Let's get a
Hey Pookie. Hey Pookie. Fight the good fight.
Fight the good fight.